from the White House tonight, our very own Peter Doocy. Peter, they've been an impoverished country. Now they have no access to energy or oil. There's been an embargo, so even Russia abandoned the idea, and Putin abandoned the idea of sending planes to land in Cuba because they can't get the fuel to get back up in the air.
Yeah, and based on what President Trump is saying tonight, it would seem like it's only going to be a matter of time before something big happens with Cuba. But something else that we are seeing, every one-sentence quote that President Trump gives to a different outlet is the impact that the success of the Maduro raid in January had on his worldview. Of course, this is a president who became popular around the time of the 2016 primaries, criticizing previous Republicans for getting entangled into long-running Middle Eastern wars. But after being able to go into Venezuela, take the leader out, and then have a hand in what happens next, the president seems very encouraged to try to replicate that in places like Iran. That is why he is telling Axios today the following: they are wasting their time. Khamenei's son is a lightweight. I have to be involved in the appointment, like with Delcy Rodriguez in Venezuela. And then with this Cuba situation, he says Cuba's going to fall too. We cut off all oil, all money, or we cut off everything coming in from Venezuela, which was the sole source, and they want to make a deal. And it has been a couple weeks now since the Maduro mission in Venezuela. And right after the troops got back and we found out about it, I asked President Trump if that meant that he would ever consider doing something similar with Russia and Putin. We know that Zelensky had said the success of the Maduro raid, that is obviously something President Trump is still thinking about, is a reason that the United States should go and take out the dictator in Russia. When I asked the president about that, though, in February, he said, I don't think it's going to be necessary. Sean.
You know, Peter, you just have to wonder, I mean, who possibly is going to emerge as a leader? Anybody within the confines or the borders of Iran, they have been awfully quiet. They've had to be, or they would be dead. So we're not really sure where the opposition leadership begins there.
But this is something that the CIA has done really well over the last couple of years. They are talking to people in Iran. They are working, they are cultivating sources, and they are trying to figure out who could possibly rise up that is outside of this military structure, where no matter how many generals they kill, there is still somebody left pushing the button to send drones into other Gulf countries, to send missiles into other Gulf countries. And so there are definitely candidates. We just don't know who they are yet.
Well said. As our intelligence and the Israeli intelligence knew who the right people were to give us information, locations of key leaders. Obviously, they have been deep in the weeds way more than the rest of the world knew. Peter Doocy at the White House tonight. Peter, always good to see you. Thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.